Mark Lee with Team Future, and today I just want to talk a little bit about turning negatives into positives. A lot of times we really dwell on those negatives. It gets us all down, but are the negatives really negatives? Let's take a look at just a few examples. I can use my life as an example, as well as possibly I'll come with some other stories. When I was in the Marine Corps, I got injured. When I got injured, I had to have surgery, and I was basically out of commission for several months. And a lot of people was like, "Man, that just really sucks." You know, basically, you almost lost your finger, and you could have gotten out of the Marine Corps. You know, you fell way behind in training and stuff like that. And it's like, you know what? That's true. I could have dwelled on the negative, been all sorry for myself. But you know what? I look back and think about the things that it did open up for me. Number one, because I was held back, I was actually placed in a great unit over in Camp Lejeune. And from that great unit, I was able to meet one of my best friends and a business partner of mine, Matt Barksdale. Some of you may know him from the Barksdale blog. You know what? If I hadn't been injured, I wouldn't have. I know what unit I would have been in because I see all the guys I went to boot camp with and where they were at, and I never would have met Matt. And that definitely would have been a big change in my life because I wouldn't have had all the influence that he put over me, or not over me, but all the influence he had in my life, and I would have definitely lost out. The other thing is, I can now look at other people that had the same surgery that I had. The doctor who did my surgery, he basically invented this new form of surgery. It's now the norm that's done out there around the world for tendon repair. But you know what? I was the third person to ever have that surgery and the first success. If I hadn't been injured at that time, I wouldn't have had him do the surgery, and who knows what the next person would have been like in doing all the rehab and going on to even know that it would have been a positive experience for them. But for me, it was a positive experience, and now I can look back and I've met several other people just in the last few years that have had tendon repair, and I'm able to look at their stuff, and it's like they had the exact same surgery. We'd compare our rehab and the stuff that we had to wear on our arms while we were healing up, and a lot of it is still the same. And this is over 20 years later, and it's just amazing that I was able to be part of that. I've looked in. I have another good friend, and she's always looking at the negative. But you know what? Because of several negative things, she is now the mother of 4 kids. She's always wanted to have kids. She couldn't have them herself, but you know what? It came into a point where there was an issue with the family, and through that negative, she's actually able to give those kids a very loving home and be the mother that she always wanted to be. So when you're looking at the negatives that are out there, instead of dwelling on what's negative, what's going to become positive in it? Who are you meeting that's really influencing your life or changing your life that you wouldn't have had access to if that negative hadn't happened? And so my whole thing on this is, don't dwell on how bad life is, how negative it is. Find that little glimmer of hope. Find out what it's done. What has it taught you? What has changed in your life because of that negative that's made your life even better? And once you start dwelling on the positive instead of the negative, things just happen to your life, and things start getting better, and your life grows, and you're happier. And I've had many negative things in my life, but you know what? Overall, when I look at everything, I've had a great, positive life, and I'm very thankful for those negative things that have happened because of the opportunity that it's given me to grow and to get the positives that I wouldn't have had without those negatives. And so, really examine your life, and I'll see you in the future.